There are ordinary days in the life of a celebrity, days filled with filming schedules, interviews, and professional smiles in front of the camera. But there are also days that change everything. Days so emotionally charged that fans can't stop talking about them. And for Bai Lu and Zeng Shunxi, that day came like a gentle storm that swept through many hearts. The day Bai Lu wrote that she loved Zeng Shunxi more than anyone else. Fans will never forget that moment. Not only because the words sounded so sincere, but because the way she wrote them, so genuine, full of emotion, and almost like a confession of love that had been hidden behind laughter and jokes in front of the camera. Bai Lu and Zeng Shunxi first met on a drama project that required them to be a couple on screen. From the very first episode, the chemistry between them was undeniable. Their gazes didn't feel like acting. The small touches, the unrestrained laughter, and the way Bai Lu always paid attention to Shunxi even when the camera wasn't focused on her, all of that made the audience believe this wasn't just a role. However, both Bai Lu and Zeng Shunxi were always cautious. They rarely commented directly on the rumors about their relationship, until finally, one post changed everything. A post appeared on Bai Lu's personal account, simple but poignant. There were no fancy photos, no promotional words, just a caption that read, "Sometimes I forget that I don't always have to be strong. But when he looks at me with his calm eyes, I know. I am loved. I love him more than anyone else." No names were mentioned, but everyone knew who he was. Zeng Shunxi. Fans reacted immediately. Within minutes, the hashtags #BaiLuConfession and #ZengShunxiLoveStory were trending on various social media platforms. Comments flooded in from all over the world. Some were shocked, some were moved to tears, and some even admitted that they felt as if they were watching a scene from the best romantic drama ever made. After the post went viral, fans began to recall many moments that had once been considered ordinary. The moment when Bai Lu stared at Shunxi a little too long behind the scenes. When Zeng Shunxi gently fixed Bai Lu's dress strap before the press conference. Or when they laughed together for no reason in between shoots. A genuine laugh, not just a formality in front of the camera. Now it all makes sense. They never really tried to hide those feelings. They just let them grow naturally, slowly, and quietly until finally, Bai Lu could no longer keep them to herself. A few hours after Bai Lu's post went viral, the public waited. Would Zeng Shunxi respond? And when he finally did, the fandom world seemed to stop. In a post on his personal account, Zeng Shunxi wrote one short sentence that shattered everyone's defenses. "And I will love you in a way that even words cannot describe." Simple. But in its simplicity, there was great power. Neither of them ever explicitly mentioned each other's names, but everyone knew it was an open declaration of love. There is something about Bai Lu and Zeng Shunxi that makes people believe in true love. They never used their relationship for publicity. There was no excessive drama. There were only two people who understood each other, supported each other, and calmed each other down in a world that is often too harsh for gentle hearts. Zeng Shunxi is always portrayed as calm, protective, and attentive, while Bai Lu is known for being cheerful, spontaneous, and a little stubborn. But it is precisely those differences that make them perfect together. Every time Bai Lu loses her way, Shunxi is the one who guides her back. And every time Shunxi seems too rigid, Bai Lu comes along with laughter and color. Since the day Bai Lu wrote her confession of love, their relationship was no longer an open secret, but it wasn't cheap sensationalism either. They chose to remain silent, but it was a silence full of meaning. There were no clarifications, no defenses. Only their togetherness became more and more apparent over time. They began attending public events together, sitting close to each other, and looking increasingly comfortable in front of the cameras. Fans who used to speculate could now only smile, because even without words, they already knew the answer. What made that moment so memorable was not only because two famous stars finally showed their love, but because the way they did it was so human. Bai Lu showed that even in the world of entertainment, which is full of falsehoods, there is still room for honesty. That love does not have to be announced through big interviews or media strategies. Sometimes a single sentence that comes from the heart is enough. And for Zeng Shunxi, His response showed how deep and mature that love was. It was not just a momentary feeling, but a quiet, calm, and meaningful commitment. For fans, that moment was like confirmation that they were right to support these two from the start. They are not just idols on screen. They are symbols of true love that dares to fight against pressure, rumors, and the gaze of the world. Many fans admitted to crying when reading Bai Lu's post, feeling as if they were seeing a piece of a love story from a movie that had finally come true. Some even wrote that the confession healed their disappointment in love, because Bai Lu and Shunxi reminded them that sincere love can still grow amid fame and the spotlight. More than that, their relationship gave new hope to many people who believe that honesty still has a place in a world full of image. Bai Lu and Zeng Shunxi did not use sweet words to attract public sympathy. They simply showed love in its simplest form: care, calmness, and the courage to be honest. That is what makes fans feel close, as if they are also experiencing every emotion that shines through the heartfelt words. Every time they appear in public after their confession, there is a different aura that radiates from them. Fans describe it as a warmth that cannot be faked. The way Zeng Shunxi looks at Bai Lu is now softer, and Bai Lu seems much calmer by his side. They don't need to explain anything, because sincere love needs no clarification. And for fans who have followed their journey from the beginning, it is the most beautiful gift they could witness, seeing love born from togetherness, growing into something real, sincere, and eternal. Now, every time Bai Lu and Zeng Shunxi appear together, the world seems to pause for a moment. There is a warmth between them that is difficult to describe in words. And every time their eyes meet, there is a silent language that only two hearts that have found each other can understand. The day Bai Lu wrote that she loved Zeng Shunxi more than anyone else will always be remembered as the day when love no longer hid behind the screen. The day when honesty overcame fear, and two souls finally united in one simple sentence that shook the entire world. Because behind all the camera lights and grand stages, Bai Lu and Zeng Shunxi showed us one thing: that true love doesn't need to be shouted out loud. It just needs to be felt, and the world will understand. Do you believe that true love still exists in this entertainment world filled with falsehood? Share your thoughts in the comment section, and don't forget, subscribe so you don't miss out on the next true love story.